So to get started, I thought Andy and I would talk about our recent spring break trip. We went down to Fairhope, Alabama, and spent a few days. And while we were there, we had the great opportunity to visit their downtown, which is a really fantastic example of lots of locally owned and operated businesses in a great downtown area. And you got to visit with a coffee shop owner down there, and the kids and I visited with some other shop owners, and I thought maybe we would just kind of talk about the characteristics we saw in some of those businesses.
Well, it's interesting, there's a lot of businesses that open up somewhere and they're not they don't love seeing somebody come up and try to ask questions and understand more about their business. They want to take your money and give you your coffee and be done. And this coffee shop was called Latte Da, and they acted like a travel guide. They told me where to go to get barbecue. They told me where to go to find things that I wouldn't have found otherwise. And they were kind of a concierge service, but a coffee shop. It was really, really neat, and they had a paper and bookstore attached to them. It was a great concept because they were there, but they were super helpful and unbelievable service that you just don't see everywhere.
So one of the things I loved about that coffee shop was that they actually had a newspaper that they produced out of their coffee shop. And actually not that dissimilar to what Jack's doing with Greater Jackson Business. They spotlighted other locally owned and operated businesses. They talked a lot about the need to support local businesses and why, not just because they're local and you should feel guilty and support your locally owned businesses, but they spotlighted all of the positive characteristics of lots of different locally owned businesses. And those other businesses, in turn, many of them sponsored this newspaper through advertisements. It's a community events calendar, there were local restaurant guides, church guides, and all these things in a newspaper produced by the local coffee shop. And I thought that was a really cool concept in marketing, that they kind of got on a limb there. They just aren't the coffee shop, they're the community hub, which is really what the core of many of our local coffee shops is.